From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Amarachi Ubani.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, the federal government confirms a total of 36 cases of coronavirus in Nigeria, including 1 fatality and 1 patient in very critical condition. In a bid to prevent further COVID-19 spread, the federal government closes all land borders, suspends Federal Executive Council and Council of States meetings indefinitely. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Mr. Tanko Muhammad, directs suspension of all court sitting effective March 24th for an initial period of 2 weeks. And the World Health Organization warns that coronavirus disease pandemic is accelerating, with more than 300,000 cases now confirmed. Plus business, sports and news from Abuja, the FCT, and later international news from our London studios.
On business news tonight, Nigerian Stock Exchange says trading activities will be done remotely with effect from March 25th, 2020, due to the recent number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the country.
And on sports news tonight, European football governing body UEFA postpones indefinitely the Champions League and Europa League finals, originally scheduled for May.
Numbers on the increase and all hands are on deck to pull the brakes on the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria. Unfortunately, however, the country has now claimed its first victim, or beg your pardon, the disease has claimed its first victim. 67-year-old Suleiman Achimogu, the former managing director of PPC. This was disclosed by the Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Hanire, who also announced 6 new cases of the virus, bringing the total number of cases to 36. The 6 new cases are from the FCT, with 2 in Lagos and 1 in Edo. A breakdown of the confirmed cases shows that Lagos now has 25, the FCT 6, Ogun State 2, and Ekiti, Oyo, and Edo 1 case each. The health minister, while giving this breakdown today, emphasized the need for Nigerians to take the issue of social distancing seriously in order to radically reduce the spread.
Of these 36 confirmed cases, 25 are in Lagos, 6 are in Federal Capital Territory, 2 are in Ogun State, 1 in Edo, 1 in Ekiti, and 1 in Oyo. 26 of them have had travel history to countries with a high burden in the last 2 weeks. 6 are contacts of the confirmed cases, and for 4 of them we have not been able to trace recent travel history or trace known confirmed contact. Unfortunately, we recorded the first death from COVID-19 infection in the country. This was a Nigerian who had underlying illnesses and died due to the complications on the 22nd of March 2020 in Abuja. He had just returned from treatment in the United Kingdom. In summary, as of today, the 23rd of March 2020, 36 cases have been confirmed in Nigeria. 2 have been discharged after successful treatment, and 1 death has been recorded from COVID-19 in Nigeria. Of the presently 33 active cases, 32 are clinically stable with mild symptoms only. and one patient is dependent on oxygen. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control is working closely with state governments of all affected states in Nigeria to carry out intensive contact tracing. Through intensified contact tracing, we have been able to promptly detect many cases. I strongly urge all health facilities to be on high alert from the state, local government, law enforcement authorities, and community leaders, and private hospitals to fully cooperate and to be able to inform the NCDC through the dedicated number of any case of someone who has fallen ill and has recently been out of the country in the last 14 days or has been a close contact of someone who has been out of the country.
And in the face of the recent COVID-19 statistics, the federal government is asking Nigerians to brace up for tougher measures in its efforts to curtail the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. Addressing the news conference, the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who was at the press briefing with the Minister of Health, says government is prepared to take any necessary measure for contact tracing. He warns that over 1,000 contacts of confirmed cases are yet to be traced, and he asks Nigerians to be prepared for the worst.
We should be ready for tougher measures. Nigerians should be ready for tougher measures. And the federal government will not shy away from, making declarations that is going to enforce, even if it means, another executive order. Like I said, there will be certain decisions that will be announced by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, and I won't rule out the possibility of restriction in respect of civil servants or other public servants. And I think already many states have done so. If we travel, we come back, we should immediately go to self-isolation. And I can assure you that the federal government, we are ready and willing to enforce this self-isolation, whatever it will take.
Now, some of the measures the Information Minister asked Nigerians to brace up for have been announced by the federal government. They include a 4-week closure of all land borders to human traffic as part of government strategies to limit the spread of COVID-19 in the country. Besides the closure of land borders, the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting has also been suspended indefinitely. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, announced the decision at a news conference in Abuja, citing the recent surge in number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus. He maintains that government will enforce strict compliance with the social distancing policy.
After a further review, Mr. President, on the recommendation of the Presidential Task Force, has approved the following additional measures. 1, suspension of the weekly Federal Executive Council meetings until further notice. 2, postponement of the meeting of the Council of State, which was scheduled to take place on Thursday, the 26th of March, 2020. 3, all land borders that have been hitherto under partial closure shall now be closed for human traffic for 4 weeks, effective today, the 23rd of March, 2020. In order to protect federal civil and public servants, a circular will be issued by the head of service of the Federation and shall direct on actions to be taken immediately. This evening, the head of service would work on a circular which she will release that will give us an indication of how we would proceed in dealing with the federal civil service and the public officers in the engagement of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. All Abuja, and Lagos residents are strongly advised to stay at home, avoid mass congregation of any kind, as well as non-essential outings until further notice or advice is given.
And as part of efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19, the Chief Justice of Nigeria has directed all heads of courts to suspend all court sittings with effect from Tuesday, March 24th for an initial period of 2 weeks. A statement signed by the CJN, Justice Danko Muhammad, says only matters that are urgent, essential or time-bound, according to the nation's extant laws, will be entertained. The CJN explains in an earlier statement that all federal judicial bodies are expected to continue working while ensuring that members of the public coming for official matters, meetings or conferences do not exceed the recommended number of 50. Meanwhile, the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Muhammad, has gone into self-isolation after subjecting himself and some of his aides to the COVID-19 test. A chief of staff to the governor, Mr. Najibu Mwazu, said in a tweet that the governor decided to self-isolate after former Vice President Atiku Abubakar announced his son has tested positive to the virus. The governor had met with Mr. Atiku on the same flight from Lagos to Abuja, where they shook hands and exchanged pleasantries. He is hopeful that they will all test negative to the coronavirus. And in Niger State, Governor Abubakar Bello does not see the need to self-isolate, but he has declared a curfew from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. effective Wednesday, March 25th, as part of efforts to curb the spread of the coronavirus. The governor made the declaration in an address he delivered at Government House, Mina. He said although the state has not recorded any case or suspected case of coronavirus, its proximity to the federal capital territory, Abuja, has made it necessary to take appropriate steps. He directs that all public places be closed from today until further notice, and that all those carrying out essential services be allowed during the curfew.
Now, Niger State will enforce all preventive measures as advised by Nigeria Center for Disease Control, especially social distancing and hand washing routines. I hereby direct further that all public and private schools and institutions in Niger State to remain closed down from today, Monday, the 23rd March 2020. All public gatherings of more than 20 persons are prohibited from today, the 23rd of March 2020. All public offices, including ministries, departments, and agencies, must provide hand washing items at the entrance of their facilities. Meanwhile, all civil servants on grade level 1 to 12 are to stay at home, except for those on essential services.
And in Anambra State, Governor Willie Obiano has directed all civil servants proceed on a 14-day work-from-home service with immediate effect. He also directs that all nursery, primary, secondary, tertiary, and vocational schools be closed from Tuesday, March 24th, while all kinds of public gatherings are suspended in the state until further notice. The governor issued these directives in a broadcast at the Governor's Lodge today as part of measures towards containing the COVID-19 virus in the state. Governor Obiano says any gathering exceeding 30 persons is not allowed, and the law on social distancing will be enforced.
Civil servants in the state are hereby directed to proceed on work at home with effect from Tuesday, March the 24th, 2020. They should stay at home, work from home. However, any civil servant may be called upon at any given time to handle an urgent assignment as the case arises. These directives excludes all staff of the Ministry of Health and all staff of the Ministry of Works and other officers on essential duty. All public gatherings are hereby suspended in Anambra State, effective immediately. This includes traditional marriage ceremonies community festivals, Ofala festivals, masquerade festivals, Iban Huwani, funeral ceremonies, baby christening, New Yam festivals, title taking ceremonies, and meeting of more than 30 participants.
In part two after the break, the Academic Staff Union of Universities embarks on indefinite strike, blames federal government's refusal to address issues raised in its 2019 Memorandum of Understanding, as well as objection to joining the IPPIS. Stay with us.